Listen. I got nothing.
Nothing? Just absolute nothing?
I got nothing.
What do the crickets have to say?
Nothing.
The cricket ambiance has been great the past, month or so. We've been recording with the window open.
It's true.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
Deadpool 2 is very funny. I was mucho giggly.
I'm Jacob. He's Spencer. We're Dime Comic Bros. Colin's supposed to be here, but he called out.
I'm impressed he's not spamming us memes. This is usually when he calls out, he starts spamming us things. Maybe he's actually asleep.
He said he's cooked, so I'm going to take him at his word.
I mean, he then immediately followed that text with 4 memes, but since then he's gone blanky mode. Like I am right now.
I'm a little jealous, actually.
Going blanky mode?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good material in there. I don't think I want to use it, though.
We watched Deadpool 2. It came out in 2016. It had a different director from the first one.
I think this is the best one.
Yep. For sure.
The action's better. The effects are better because it had a bigger budget, obviously. The jokes are funnier. For the most part, anyways. I thought they were funnier. It's subjective. Don't cancel me over my comedy opinions.
I had remembered this one being funnier in the moment, but going back to it, it felt like there was more to catch in the first one because everything is just so quickly said, whereas this one is this is the solid joke that I remember. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, fair. I don't know.
It's more set up and followed through, but there's a lot less just very rapid fire quips, I guess.
Yeah. I think it actually has an emotional through line that kind of works.
It's true.
It's not groundbreaking. Fridging isn't exactly original, but I mean, it works well enough. It gets the job done. It makes the Wolverine digging funnier, especially as time has gone on. Obviously,
it's very appropriate that the villain is a pedophile, and then they lose an IRL pedophile in the next movie.
It's true.
It's great.
It's prophetic.
Yes.
I think Cable's great. I like how well they simplified him down. If you take away the really complicated heritage, lineage, being a Summers child bullshittery, just future time soldier here to fix a problem, I think his demeanor works really well. I think Josh Brolin works really well in the role, despite being he's a little short man.
Yeah.
Shorty!
I didn't know about his size, but just by watching this movie, I think this is really the biggest thing I've ever seen Cable in. I don't think I've read any books where he's in a huge role. He's just always kind of in the background, and it's all right, he's a Summers, but I don't get how. I don't know.
Time travel.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Big gun.
This does him really well. It'd be hard to have this character show up again because his whole arc is complete now.
Yeah. I dig it. I think the arm still holds up really well for being 8 years old.
Don't die.
Hold on, this was not 2016. This was 2019. There's no way this was 2016. The first one was 2016.
Was it? Oh, so 2018 maybe?
This was 2018.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's kind of say. Anyways, I like how well they do a lot of Terminator iconography for Cable, but it doesn't feel like they're completely overdoing it.
Yeah.
They make plenty of very obvious references, and they do similar shots to the way that the Terminator is shot in the first movie and whatever, but it doesn't feel like it's too much. I think that just the arm is dope as fuck. I really like how they did that without having to get into the nitty gritty of so you see he has a living techno-organic virus and it's just he has robot arm and I deal with it whatever.
the soundtrack wasn't intrusive or obnoxious. It actually repeated a couple of songs a couple of times, and it felt restrained.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yes, we had one callback to the previous movie instead of like the potential
And
for
it was
18.
tiny.
Yeah, instead of it being 18 of them.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite opening credits out of the three as well.
Yeah.
Admittedly, like Deadpool and Wolverine is a different type of opening credits because
It's very funny.
it's upbeat and it's an action scene and all that stuff. But like,
Deadpool 3 is definitely written to be as a joke. Like, it's not.
He's literally desecrating a grave.
Not really an action scene so much as it's just a really long joke.
Yes, but it's also dope ass action. So
This action scene is just like ripped from John Wick.
yeah, no, for sure. I really don't like the fridging Vanessa thing. That does actually bug me more. I remembered it bothered me initially. I think there might have been like some scheduling problems or something, but Marina Baccarin is like fucking awesome in the role, and they have good chemistry and stuff. And especially since her role in Deadpool and Wolverine is really, really stupid.
It's awful.
It's very dumb, and she has nothing to do for the 4 minutes she's on screen. This almost kind of points where that started. Like, you know what we could do to fuck around with Deadpool's character? We could just fuck with his wife, because why not?
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's dumb. I much prefer her role in the first movie. I like the scenes that they do have in this one. I don't even hate the idea of her dying and then getting revived or whatever, but like she's just not in the movie. It is like his sole motivator, and that is the definition of fridging. Sorry to go all Gail Simone over here, but like, I'm not sorry. do something different. I don't know.
I kind of wish Yu-Gi-Oh! And Negasonic Teenage Warhead had been included more. They're kind of just like background characters that people point at and laugh and then move on. It's kind of the same recurring theme. Like, I don't even know Yu-Gi-Oh's power until the final fight.
That's true.
And she gets like one shot.
I kind of like not knowing what her power is because it doesn't really matter because she's introduced as Negasonic Teenage Warhead's girlfriend. Yeah. Like, that's the joke. And then it's like, wow, look at the demeanor difference between the two where she's friendly and vibrant or whatever. Nice. Like, it's just kind of I don't know. But yeah, it does feel it because they have their initial scene and then they're there for Wade's like breakup apology, dancing outside with a jukebox scene for Colossus, and then they're just there in the finale real quick.
There was one extra scene where he was trying to be cleaned up and the good guy for a second, but
yeah, it felt like they had a more, well, not both of them because Yukio didn't exist yet. She wasn't there. Yeah. But I do feel like they were less present. I do think that Colossus maintained a similar level of integratedness with the first one, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like how well, like, they really ham up the over... just the most generic Russian dude you'd ever know, which is so not what the character really is in the books that much. He's kind of a teddy bear. I don't know, he likes painting and stuff, but for the purpose of like the movie and as a foil of sorts for Wade, I think it does work very well. Where he's just like, no, heroes do this, and we. Was what I was
thinking is like it's really nice having the contrast of the really ultra square good guy compared to Deadpool.
Yes, no, for sure. I also like the fact that the X-Mansion just has a painting of Karl Marx in it. I didn't notice that the first time around either. I watched this in theaters when it came out.
I did.
So I've seen it probably like 4 or 5 times by now, and I just noticed that. And the another pedophile that shall not be named, one of the other directors that was working on this franchise for a while, for multiple entries, sadly some of the better ones, directed the 3 nanoseconds that like the X-Men cast appear in the side of a shot, and that was really funny because it like triples down on the chronology not making any fucking sense because it's 30 or 40 years off from what the cast would be like in the. It doesn't matter.
I also think it's funny that you only just caught the orchestral choir is singing "Oh Holy Shit Balls" for the final fight.
I'm dumb. I'm just a little birthday boy. I like Juggernaut. I maintain that it should probably be Blob. I just think Blob would make more sense. Not like Deadpool wouldn't be fanning over him, but literally, like, you would have the fat kids teaming up. Like, there's a much stronger connection. I'm not joking. Like, there's a stronger connection than like, well, Juggernaut's big. Like, okay, cool. Why the fuck would the rest of the prisoners hate Juggernaut? He's just really big, and he's implied to be a mutant and not magic. So, like, I just don't. I get it wouldn't make the fights the same, because then it wouldn't be as much punching. It would be a lot different or whatever. But, like, I don't know. I really do actually think that the Blob angle would have worked better, like, thematically speaking, because you can still do most of the fights the same way. Blob isn't just, like, invulnerable. He can do a lot of things. It's just.
Besides the one surprise kill in Deadpool and Wolverine, I think this has the most gore.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I really like it because it's weird stuff. It's like a guy laying sideways on a mattress and then a bookshelf falls and beheads him. Like, it's just, how do you even come up with some crazy things like this? But it's great.
Yeah, very, very mucho, yes. I enjoyed the continued making the commentary of the X-Men insanely, blatantly over the top. Not just because Wade says it, but could just, like, yeah, literally, we'll just, like, go to a conversion camp. Like, it's down the nose, to say the least. It's up your nose, like, very far up your nose, like the cocaine.
I like the James Bond theme song intro thing. I think that's very funny.
That's what I actually meant when I meant the opening song.
Oh.
I would have because the first one's really good, and the second one is, like, I like the first one because it's the weird car slow motion shot thing, and the individual jokes are very funny. This one, I just think has more. It just got the sauce on it. Even though the
cinema,
cinema, cinema. The whole thing is just, did you just kill Vanessa? Which is true.
Yes.
But, like, I just think the visuals are a lot more interesting, and it is very Bond-esque.
Yeah.
If only it had an Adele song to go with it. Oh.
I had always remembered it being an Adele song. I think it's just Skyfall in the brain, but
yeah. Ugh, I gotta rewatch Skyfall.
It's so good.
Dude, the fact that you, I've even come around on the two not as good movies, like, the 2 and 4. Like, yeah. I've come around, like, the fact that
I gotta see Quantum of Solace again.
The fact that Quantum of Solace, like, they didn't have a script because the 2008 or not, like, the massive strike was going on, so, like, they basically just shot it with, like, a plot outline.
Interesting.
And it functions. It's not anything that's, like, amazing. Like, I didn't hate it, and Spectre's kind of more in line with the old Bond movies, to be honest, in the good way. Like, it is a lot more over the top gadget trickery shit. It's too much for my taste, but, like, that being when your second to worst entry is, like, still a pretty fun romp, and then you have 3 fucking perfect movies, that's a real good track record, you know? Mm-hmm. Anyways. Domino is good.
And doesn't even come back for the head nod in Deadpool and Wolverine.
None of the new characters do, because they're stupid. Because they're stupid.
But it stupid. Undermines the family of this movie.
They're stupid. The only one that comes back is Peter.
Watching this has made me dislike 3 even more.
I thought I was going to do that, to be honest. I was trying to... Because it's been probably 2 years since I've seen this.
Yeah.
So I remembered most of it pretty closely, but, like, I was like, yeah, if you take Deadpool and Wolverine in a vacuum, it works better, but I think as, like, a chronological next installment, it's like,
not good.
They did say, they're like, it's actually not Deadpool 3. It's like, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
You're kind of right.
So where Deadpool 3 then?
Yeah, not happening. No more cocaine jokes.
Ugh.
Except jokes about how we can't make jokes about cocaine. Because you see the magic workaround. Yeah. It's just...
I still like Blind Al. I really like it in this movie because she's kind of the fallback plan of where to live now that Vanessa is dead.
It's Gam Gam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except she says fuck.
It's, Mom, my girlfriend kicked me out again. Can I move in?
Yeah.
Yep. I
dig. This is just, yeah. This, I think it was one of the very few comic book movies that my opinion hasn't changed, at all on.
Yeah.
It just kind of stayed in the same spot. The pop culture jokes haven't aged poorly. Most of them have aged pretty well in retrospect, to be honest.
Yeah.
Some of them have gotten funnier. The CG is still really impressive. The choreography is fucking fantastic. It's still choreographed by the same, what's now, whatever it's called. It's the same company of guys that did the first one. It's just a different guy directing it. It's still the same stunt crew and all that stuff. It's still the same writing team.
I still worry that the stunt actor that died on this set was kind of a hush money kind of deal. Because that blew over way too quick.
There is definitely something going on there. Yeah, I remember because that was when I was really, really into behind the scenes stuff, actively every scrap of information I could find about anything for fun.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I wish, if I had a superpower, I wish I could do the thing that Deadpool does when he lands from the truck and twists his head all the way around and cracks his neck all the way up. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do that.
I would just sit on Cable's face because it would be funny. And then he'd shoot me in the head and I'd be happy because I'd be dead. What have you been getting up to? Other than, having people sit on your face.
I was weighing the balances of continuing that joke, but
you were weighing the balance of having, there's a
Zesty
really good hook for this one that you could use, but you won't because you're a coward.
You know how this show started out with a landing strip joke? MJ could have a landing strip.
Thank you!
Who's the coward now, bitch?
There we go! Oh, I can feel your big hairy balls!
Stop touching my balls. I read Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1. It's the first trade paperback written by Jonathan Hickman with artwork by Marco Checchetto for most of it, half of it. No, 2/3 of it. There we go.
2/3.
Yep. And issues 4 and 5 were drawn by David Messina.
Spider-Man!
I talked about the first issue a little while ago.
Way back.
Not way back, but a couple of months ago, because I read it digitally, and I was like, oh, I really want this, but it was 5 issues out by then. I was like, I'll just get the trade. I will wait. I'll just keep getting the other Ultimates in issues, except for the one that's selling out like crazy.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah. This came out this year. The subtitle for the trade is Married with Children. So this is in the Ultimate Universe where the Maker has undone all of the superheroes in time. There's no supers except for a couple of friends that he has. And everybody's human everywhere.
There's no Spider-Man!
Yep. So some tomfoolery is pulled and someone from the future or the past or whatever says, I'm from the future or the past or whatever. Here's a spider, get bit by it. Get bitten.
But he's an adult with a beard.
And he's married to MJ, and they have 2 kids, and they all love each other very much. It's beautiful, and it's very happy.
You mean he already has responsibility, and then he gets power after he's already been responsible?
Jonah Jameson and Uncle Ben are bestest of friends.
They're definitely not gay, I promise.
And they start their own company because the media is cringe.
What do they call it?
The Kingpin takes over the Daily Planet.
Daily Planet.
He's twisting up what the news is printing. He controls what the truth is.
Whoa.
I like that commentary very much, but it kind of disappeared as the issues went on, and I'm hoping it goes back to that.
I think the next couple of issues they've been teasing have Kingpin in them, so...
I mean, there's still the Kingpin. There's a Green Goblin running around that is working against the Kingpin. He's all mad. I didn't like how... No, wait. I do like how Peter Parker's marriage works. I really like the dynamic. It all makes sense. It's really cool. Actually based marriage. Incredible. This is not fantasy at all.
It's so nice to see Spider-Man be happy instead of being fucked in the ass by editorial.
I don't like a couple of issues later when Peter meets fucking Norman Osborn and they're just bestest friends over a drink. I don't know. It didn't make sense. They were just like, hey, let's meet. Wow, we're best friends. Oh my gosh. No, you are so cool. No, you're so cool. It didn't flow.
Jacob's never had a real friendship. Otherwise, you'd know. That's just how it works.
It didn't feel natural, just the way they set it up. It happened too quickly. Because plot. I didn't... So the first issue focuses on Peter Parker talking to MJ and being like, I'm not happy in life. I need to do something new. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Follow your heart. Do whatever and I'll support you. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go get bit by a spider. And they don't follow up on it until issue 6 where it just falls out that, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Spider-Man. And it's like, that doesn't seem like the based cool marriage that they set up in the first issue where they talk to each other and like each other and love each other. It felt like he was hiding it because of emotional plot reasons, and it was kind of dumb.
I mean, to be fair, Spider-Man is known for being kind of emotionally retarded.
Yes, I know. But when your hot wife says, oh my gosh, do whatever you want and I'll support you, wouldn't you be like, alright, so I got bit by a spider.
I don't know. Maybe he's becoming irresponsible with his power.
The conversation she has with him after she's found out is so steamy. She's turned on. There are so many double entendres in like 3 pages.
Hickman can be a horny writer when he wants to be.
Holy crap.
When he's not too busy like drawing graphs or whatever.
I like this very much. I had a lot of fun. The artwork is incredible. S-tier artwork.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of who else to compare. There's no comparison.
No, Chichetto is in my top
automatically
3.
S-tier.
Yeah, like currently working, who does ongoings is Chichetto, like by a wide margin. There's some people I might like more, but they don't do interior art, you know? Mm-hmm. Chichetto just bangs out issues like a motherfucker.
It's so good. I got this book for $20.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's 6 issues though, so.
Thought it was supposed to be 17, but that was the Lex Luthor price online. So
the evil,
I will
the evil one.
Spend my $2 extra at my local comic shop.
The evil one.
Yep.
Speaking of the new Ultimate Universe, which is
cheating cheater.
I am a cheating cheater, but that's because I think I actually read this before you read your thing.
What?
Nanny boo boo. I read Ultimate Invasion. Finally. Got around to it. Now that
you already talked about this.
I did not! I've just ranted about it to you. Yeah, the maker does shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mr. Fantastic loves himself so much that he goes back in time just to fuck himself with himself.
Kinda. Yeah, the maker, the original 1610 universe, Mr. Fantastic, who's now a bad guy because he's gone cuckoo banana and is honestly like one of the best villains the past like 20-30 years, has been trapped in the 616 universe for a while now, like almost 10 years now, actually. He's made some sporadic appearances here and there. He's clearly had machinations, but now he's done the thing. The Illuminati, the group of the big brains in 616, are like, I think the Maker's gonna do something. He escaped from prison. Sus. And then they basically chase him, and he goes, nah, fuck you guys, and jumps into a portal. Like, that's how the first issue ends. He has some really, really good line to Mr. Fantastic from 616, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's a really good, like, play on words of, like, Mr. Fantastic being like, yeah, you're a monster, and then the Maker's like, oh, we'll fucking see. And the twist with that is he then goes into this new timeline and fucks shit up, and then turns that universe's Reed into Doom and tortures him for decades. Yep. It's a whole thing.
Yep.
Anyways, this wasn't originally a Jonathan Hickman book, which is weird because it smells like a Jonathan Hickman book.
Yep.
But it's not. But it does include the iconic Hickman graphs and charts and shit, which I do love.
Yep.
So through...
A quick side note. You were talking about it a while ago, but people were bitching about Hickmaning everywhere. And he's like, listen, you only get so many pages in a comic that can be drawn on time. So I either Hickman all over the Hickman, or you get less pages in your issue.
Yeah, I think he was...
And that makes more sense, but there needs to be some restraint to it, because he does Hickman all over the place.
I think it's also because he works with a lot of artists that are not the greatest when it comes to deadlines, usually. Like, just speculation. In that case, I think he was actually defending the current Ultimates team, just being like, yeah, they're doing what I do because we all have to do it sometimes. Like,
right.
Fuck you guys.
So no, I just wanted to
I just think it's autism.
correct myself and be like, it's not entirely a sin to have the Hickman graphs and pages and whatever.
No, sometimes it's just a bit much.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of House of X and Powers of 10, there's like 6 pages to explain all of the timelines of a certain character, and it's like, okay, I like how explanatory it is, but like, you couldn't have
condensed it.
Just shrunk it. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, this wasn't originally a Hickman book, but it does feel like a Hickman book. I don't know if he was handed a plot outline and said go with it or what. I speculated when this was announced, and I've continued to maintain the position. I think this was going to be a Donny Cates book, but this was during a period of time where he had a lot of personal tragedy going on, let's say, and leave it there. A lot of it's public knowledge stuff by now, and I think because he had used the Maker in a bunch of Venom stuff, it seemed like this was kind of his plan. Whether that's because editorial told him to or not, I don't really give a shit, but I just have a feeling. That's
too bad.
Yeah.
Because this would have been a win for him.
It definitely would have been, but I think he's coming back properly sometime soon. Wow. I think. I don't know. I don't know anything off the top of my head. He's been very active on social media, if nothing else. So he's definitely... It's so back. It's just not like hitting the button. It's so back, you know? Anyways, yeah, Ultimate Invasion is only...
If we get an Ultimate Venom.
Okay. This is only 4 issues, and I think it needed to be more than 4 issues.
For sure.
So yeah, the first issue is just the Maker escaping the 616 universe. It's really good. It involves some phenomenal character interactions, the Maker being all sus, but not the reader knowing what the hell's going on, without being like made to feel stupid or like the writer's just like cheating. Like it's just like, okay, I could theorize about what they're doing, but I don't know. It works pretty well. And then the other 3 issues are just the Maker went back in time and went to a different universe and then went back in time and fucked shit up. As you basically said, the premise of this new, I think it's 6160 is the new designation. This universe is just like the Maker became God King, kind of, and then went into his hovel and like locked the door. It's really fucking weird. And then a bunch of the other, like, all these new Ultimate runs are happening concurrently with the Maker being, like, on vacation. So the continents are a little different, the country dynamics are different, and that's mostly what this book gets into, is, like, the literal politic of the world. And I really fucking liked it, because it's up my alley, and I like Hickman. and I like Hickman's politics, so it makes sense to me. The book just is like, yes, there is in fact a cabal in this room that plans shit. It's not even a secret; they just do it. Like we will play roulette with which like territory is going to be the bad guy next time around, and we all have to get mad at them and performatively denounce them, and then we'll play it all over again. Like, it's a very boiled down simplification of pretty Marxian theory, to be honest. It just is. It's just capital interest, but in a very digestible way. Whereas you can also just do the like, haha, big companies and countries bad, big old money families cringe. Like, you can kind of monkey brain it if you want to, but if you want to get into it, there's a lot more behind it. The makeup of the individuals that represent these different territories is really interesting. There's a Hulk, who we don't know who he is, like which Banner it is. I'm pretty sure it's Old Man Banner, but whatever. Colossus and Magic, I can't remember their last name. Fuck. Whatever. Them and their brother, they have another brother, whatever. Like, their family is in charge of what is basically the USSR, whatever. There's just a really cool makeup of people, and the POV character is Howard Stark being kind of pulled into the fold. Obadiah Stane has been his right-hand boy, who's done the real politics of like running, the world's biggest arms manufacturer forever. And Howard's like, I want to see how the sausage is made. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. So they all, he gets an invitation, he goes to the meetings, and then is like, what the fuck? This is bad. He just, like, no hesitation, is just like, I'm a bad guy, but this is evil. just violently disinterested in this fake, like, I don't know. I really liked it. Howard Stark is always kind of I wouldn't say contentious, really, but like, every writer can take him in a very different direction. Same thing with the Waynes to a different extent. Like, you can get into like, where does old money come from? Like, you can do that, but most of the time people don't. But recently, a lot of people have been in a lot of different adaptations, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that Howard Stark just flatly rejects this and says, I'm going to make sure this thing implodes, and I'm going to use, like, my massive share of what is effectively North America to just fuck you guys. And then he gets murked, kind of. It takes place over a very long period of time. I can't really tell how long, which is true because the characters can't really tell how long it is either. Multiple armies invade at the same time that are seemingly more of the Avengers / Ultimates from other timelines in the future. They invade multiple times. Howard Stark becomes Iron Man and works with the Doom of this universe, and is like, this Maker guy's pretty fucked up. And Doom's like, dude, you don't even fucking know. You don't even know. He's been diddling my balls every night since I got here, and I don't even know how many years I've been here. I just live in this box and make his time machines. So they do a big fight because Kang the Conqueror is like the kind of rival to the Maker in this very short period of time. He doesn't appear for that many pages, but he's not the head of the Resistance, that comes later, but like, he's just the like, only I get to control the time stream, buddy, fuck you. So he just puts together like a ginormous army, and then he gets fucked. Him and the Maker get fucked and like locked in a box. Howard Stark dies, oopsies, and then his son, little teenage boy Tony, is like, yes, father, I will continue thou vision to be based as fuck, and
I'm gonna call myself Iron Lad.
I'm gonna literally go do terrorism. It's gonna be great. And then the book ends and shit. He puts together he starts assembling the Ultimates, basically. Yep. This should have been like 6 or 8 issues, to be honest. Yep. 4 is like, the issues were good. It's not like it's not, like, I got to know all of the characters pretty well, but frankly, there just could have been more action. It was illustrated by Brian Hitch, who is the original progenitor of like the Ultimate Universe, like, art style, outside of Mark Bagley on Spider-Man. So him getting to return in a way to characters that he used to work with, but different, and all that is really cool. He does a really good job. Let him cook for a couple more issues. My asterisk next to that is that we effectively do have more there's kind of 2 more issues of this, sort of. So, addendum, I suppose. The trade paperback for Ultimate Invasion is only Ultimate Invasion. But there are 2 other issues that take place between this and the first, the Ultimates #1, which is the main book of this universe, plot-wise. It's not the most popular one. That's Spider-Man, because it's Spider-Man, But like the Ultimates is the main big politics plot thread. So there's also Ultimate Universe #1, which is just a single issue, and that is included in will be included in the trade paperback for the Ultimates Volume 1, which isn't going to be out until I think December or whatever. I recently read that as well. It's also written by Jonathan Hickman and illustrated by Brian Hitch. And it kind of it's simultaneously an epilogue to Ultimate Invasion / a prequel issue to the Ultimates. It's just like the first kind of adventure-ish with Iron Lad and Doom trying to get the team together. They free Thor from prison because Thor's in prison. Don't ask questions. And they just start assembling the team. It's kind of more celebratory, I suppose. I just think this really should be included in the trade. Like, it's not technically a continuation of the run directly, but this is the real ending / beginning of the next chapter, and it really feels like the Ultimate Invasion paperback is not enough for the price. It's pushing it. Like, it's really good, but it's, I think, $20 for 4 issues, or it's at least close. And they're not. I think they're slightly larger than normal issues, but still. It's still light. So I think adding Ultimate Universe #1 and the Ultimates portion of Free Comic Book Day from 2024, which is not going to be included in the Ultimates Volume 1, which I think is doubly stupid, because that trade is already the first 6 issues. So that one's going to be like twice as fucking large as Ultimate Invasion, and I just think that's dumb. Like, for the sake of balance and pricing and like story flow, those 2 should be broke. It just, yeah.
Is it my turn yet?
Almost.
Okay.
It just make me anger as like someone who physically buys books. It just, the size to price to plot ratio is off, despite how much I enjoy it. And there's just other material. Like, the Free Comic Book Day issue is one of the best stories of the Ultimates so far. It's short. It's a third of an issue, but it's a really good it's done by Dennis Camp and Juan Frigeri, I believe, are the 2 that do the Ultimates. It's just part of their run, but it's just a little like prologue of the team infiltrating with their recently thought out Captain America to go find an old buddy of his who turns out to be the Human Torch, where they do the dopest shit in the world, where Iron Lad shoots a repulsor blast into a Molotov cocktail that Captain America is holding to reignite Human Torch that he cinema, I swear to you. It's short, it's brief, it's not anything super crazy. Where's that going? Like, I get that Free Comic Book Day stuff is kind of supposed to be kind of gimmicky and cheap and free and whatever. It's just supposed to get people into books. But sometimes when there are things like that, they're really fucking good. So that's not being collected in a trade anywhere. And yet it's kind of my favorite part of this chunk of the Ultimate Universe. So I just reprint this book. Just reprint it and cram it in there. Like, they reprinted Spider-Man Life Story with the annual issue that they did afterwards. Just reprint it with more shit in it and keep it at $20. Very good. I bought it for cover price, but I just wish there was more meat and potatoes. Tracking down Ultimate Universe #1 and Free Comic Book Day, Avengers, Ultimates, Spider-Man, whatever the fuck, was a big pain. I did get both of them off of eBay for like $10 to $15 a piece, and those are both single issues, so that was just annoying. Now it's your turn.
I watched Barbarella.
What?
It's a 1968 movie based on...
Based?
No.
Oh, it's not based.
No.
It's cringe?
Based on quote-unquote dirty comics. Hold on. Before I say anything crazy.
This is the year my parents were born. This year can only be so sus.
That's why I looked it up. I was going to say Russian. It wasn't. It was French comics.
That explains it. The French do be like that.
And they were published in magazines and stuff. Let's see if there's a... In the far future, a highly sexual woman is tasked with finding and stopping the evil Durand. Along the way, she encounters various unusual people.
Like Duran?
Like the band.
Like
this is what they got their name from.
Wait, what?
I'm dead serious.
What the fuck?
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
It's 98 minutes, and it's literally just Star Trek, but what if Captain Kirk was a woman and fucked everything she found?
I mean...
The first person that she encounters is very rapey.
That's not good.
And was not good. After that, she's like, oh, I can use this thing called sex to get what I want. Cool. And does. And that's the movie.
Okay. Why did you watch this?
Because it's based on comics. And I was like, this will be a fun talking point.
Based on porn comics, but okay.
I kind of forgot about it.
All right.
But I was scrambling for another topic. So here we go. I did myself a flavor.
A flavor?
A flavor.
I love flavors.
I wrote a review. I sent you the screenshot, and you never responded. I think I sent it to you twice. I wrote a review of this one. And I said, Grandpa's right. There were some awesome, amazing drugs in the 60s.
Oh, that's what that was. Yeah.
And then it was followed up with my review of Requiem for a Dream. My review of that was, drugs are bad, okay? So I looked at my history and saw these two things about drugs back to back, and I was like, wow, I'm not smart. But, yeah, Barbarella was not great. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because it's hard to take the 60s out of the 60s. So it hasn't aged well, but whatever. I don't know. It's technically a movie.
That's true.
Also, apparently this was like right before Jane Fonda went off the deep end and became a super political figure. So everybody loved the movie until everybody started to hate her. But I don't know, that's really old politics and stuff that I don't know anything about. Apparently, people would put her face in the pictures of, like, VFWs or something.
What the fuck?
I've heard this before, but I've never done the research. You know, those veteran bars that only vets can go into?
They're cringe, I know. Yeah.
Apparently
they used to do Boy Scout events in those.
Happened in a lot of those.
That's really weird, but okay. I watched The Bad Batch Season 3. And this is probably the best season of animated Star Wars television.
I've heard that with every previous season of animated Star Wars television.
Fuck you in the ass. But also, it's because they're getting better?
I know!
So this one is also 16 episodes like the past couple of seasons. It has a regular size premiere and a double size finale, which I think is a much better balance. So it's just 15 regular episodes, and then the final episode is like 50 minutes. The Bad Batch need to go get Omega back because she got kidnapped, and also Tech is dead, by the way, just in case you forgot about that. Or you didn't know about that. Yeah, he fell. And they keep him dead. They don't roll that back. He's dead.
For now.
The show is over.
For now.
Shut up. He's fucking dead. Yeah, so Omega is just put in an Imperial camp. She works with Nala Se on Project Necromancer because of plot. Like, this is the meat and potatoes of the show, is she's important because of her blood, but Nala Se keeps finding ways to accidentally dispose of her blood so the Empire doesn't find out that she's like the magic key to fix all of their problems. There's a pretty decent sized time jump between it's like multiple months between the two seasons, and then after or during the first episode or two, there's also another couple of months that take place. So she ages a good bit. I think around this point, she's probably 14 or so, 13, 14. So as the show has gone on, as a character has gotten more mature, the actor or actress or whatever, has had to modify her voice less. And in the finale, for a brief amount of time, we see her in, what's the term? The proper age of the Empire, right? Right when the rebellion's kicking off, and she's an adult, and it's just the actor doing her normal voice, which apparently was like really emotional. They had planned it out from the beginning and stuff. She goes and joins the rebellion, and Hanta is like, "I'm old. I don't like this, but I love you. Go get him." And that's it. Yeah. Anyways. Crosshair has also been imprisoned. He has turned against the Empire in season 2, but he's still an asshole who doesn't really know what he's doing. And because he is a deeply traumatized clone, in addition to being a clone that's already like part of the Bad Batch, the kind of fucked up ones, he starts having the shakes, which is not good for being a sniper, like at all. So he becomes almost useless. So he has a really big character arc about like trying to find some sort of like innate value in himself and in life and stuff, which is done pretty darn well. He escapes from prison with Omega. They, because she's like, "I'm not gonna leave you behind." I can barely do the voice without laughing, but you know the New Zealand child voice. It's very funny.
I thought it was Australian, but okay.
No, it's New Zealand. Yeah, they escape, they go back to the crew, etc., etc. And then there's a bounty out again. So we're kind of repeating some plot points from the first season, but there is zero fat on this season. So the first season had 4 or 5 episodes of like semi-filler, which were still fun, but they were definitely like, it's the first season of the show, we should have some fun shit in here, blah, 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 blah. And then season 2 had a lot less. This season is like just all meat. It's all just going for it. Even when we're following an episode that's almost entirely filled with children, they're all children trapped in prison because they have high midichlorian counts. And like, it's all plot. It's all plot in the best way possible. We get to bump into Fennec Shand for an episode. They need some information, so they have to go back to her, which is nice because she was created half for this show, half for the Book of Boba Fett. Ming-Na Wen is still fucking amazing, and she's, just the greatest. So the Hunter and Wrecker have to do a job for her because information and whatever, and it's genuinely the funniest episode. It has some really, really good action scenes in it, but they're on a swamp planet, and she's just like, "Yeah, you have to diffuse the mines in the water." And they're like, "But we shouldn't go in the water, it's dangerous." And she's like, "I know we shouldn't, you are," or whatever. Like, it's just, they need information, so they become her bitch, which is really cool. Asajj Ventress makes an appearance in this, which was not completely a spoiler. It wasn't the promotional material. It's only for, I think, 2 episodes. She is not canonically dead, but kind of canonically dead. The end of Dark Disciple is really vague as to whether or not she's actually dead or not. So the codex, the Wikipedias and the website codexes have been updated the past couple of years with like, "I don't know, maybe she's not dead." Ooh. So technically speaking, no, she's not dead. She has a yellow lightsaber now, which she got in Dark Disciple. She has like not short hair, but like short for typical woman hair anyways, because being bald is like part of her like adherence to the Sith code or whatever the fuck. So she has this really great bob cut, to be honest. Like, it's real weird, but I dig it. She is one of the many bounty hunters that's just kind of out looking for Omega, but because they need information and Fennec Shand connects them, she's like, M count shit. I know what this is about. So she tests Omega as to whether or not she has the Force. Basically, no. Like, not really. Omega is not some magical Jedi, which is neat. I kind of expected it once the episode started going, but I'm glad that I remember when the show started, and I was like, whoa, you see, it's the magic, like, unaltered girl clone that's got the magic Force powers, and like, that's where the show wanted you to go for a while, like, but it's just some weird genetic freak part. Like, she is just magically can make the genetic sequencing of like replicating clones with an M count, which is what the Emperor wants, like work. Like she has the information in her DNA, but like it doesn't mean that she herself has any powers. She's just a girl. And I really like that, because when that happens, it's not like she's not even really disappointed. She just wanted to know like why the Empire was after her for so long. And Ventress is like, yeah, theoretically with a bunch of training it could work, but I'm not going to tell her because that's dangerous and stupid, and like you are her family, so you shouldn't let her do that. I don't know, there was something about that really struck a chord with me that I liked. It's just, you now know why the Empire wants you, why you're important to their program, but you're just you, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I think it connects really well with like the themes of the show, with the super ultra mega found family. Also, they're all literally siblings, you know, whatever. A lot of stealth in this season. Also, the action is off the walls. Like, on par with or better than the good episodes of Season 7 of Clone Wars. Like, the Siege of Mandalore quality of battles. Like, really, really good stuff in terms of lighting, animation, choreography, a lot of sword fights, a lot of knife fights. Yeah, really good. I like that basically when this one's over, there isn't really some big thing. It sounds weird, but it's actually like it focuses on its emotional ending instead of it being like a cathartic clickbait article for the next animated show. Like, we already know they're working on another animated project that might be a semi spin-off or whatever, but the end of the show is effectively this one of many programs that the Emperor has been having the science division run is getting shut down because it fucking got fucked up because the batch kicks ass. And then Tarkin comes in and says, yes, send all this money to Project Stardust. And we know that that's the Death Star. And, like, that's it. I like it. It felt more conclusion-y than usual. It didn't feel like this had to connect to much else. It turns out that there is going to be a comic for the Bad Batch coming out. It's through Dark Horse, but it's set during the Clone Wars. It's just like a random mini-series prequel. It's nothing to do with anything. So there's just this flash forward where it's just like, yeah, cool. Omega wanted to learn what she was, who she is, where she belongs. She did all of that. She has her family, and all of her brothers are getting kind of old now because of their advanced aging problems and all of that stuff. And she wants to join the rebellion because she's choosing to. And this season focuses a lot on like giving her agency. That's what the whole show's been about. But like they quadruple down. She arguably takes the program down more single-handedly than the rest of the crew do. She rescues them multiple times throughout the end, like 4 or 5 episodes. They get really fucked up. Like, despite the fact that I've already spoiled a bunch of shit, there's a bunch of stuff I'm not spoiling. They get really fucked up, and she just continually saves their asses because she's smart and been equipped with skills.
Omega.
I have no criticisms. Genuinely none. Like, this is... I got nothing.
I do. They didn't make enough Lego kits based on this TV show.
That's true. Yeah, I just, like... There's stuff I like more, but in terms of what the show set out to be, it accomplished it through and through, and it honed itself really well. And I do want to... I don't want to just, like, dump all of the praise on Dave Filoni, because he's not the showrunner for this show, like, at all, actually. He is, like, a co-creator because he was the showrunner for the Clone Wars and blah, 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 and he's, like, a co-writer on most of these episodes. But it is primarily written by Jennifer Corbett, who is, like, the actual showrunner. I don't want it to just sit there and be like, look, another Dave Filoni thing. It's like, this actually, for being a quote-unquote, like, Dave Filoni creation, smells the least Dave Filoni in the way that we don't not like, but sometimes he can get a little up his own butthole about his own stuff, you know?
No.
Sometimes. Most of the time, it's fine, but sometimes he can be a little, guys, look at my character, aren't I so cool? And this just doesn't really do that. Like, it brings back Ventress for, like, 2 episodes, but that's pretty much it. The rest of it's just these characters going through their stories together and coming out the other side very different. And it doesn't feel the need to tie directly into anything else other than wrapping up this story. Just one of 15 projects that has to do with the Emperor doing cloning and wanting to get himself life and shit. One of them got shut down. Like, it shows restraint in a really good way, but not with the action. The action goes fucking nuts. Like, go hard. Go hard. You know what else goes hard?
I had a thought before we wrap it up.
I love thoughts.
Something about Deadpool 2 that I really remembered liking was every time Wade dies, I really like the sinking through a huge pool into the death room. And like seeing his dead wife there in the room and then being back up through the water. It was a really cool visual thing to let you know that he's dead, at least for a minute. He went to hell for 5 minutes or whatever.
Dude, if she's in hell, I'm going. I'm going. It's already gonna be steamy if she's there, so fuck it, it's getting flamed.
Spoilers. I can't.
Spoilers, she's hot.
You're already going.
But my personal spot in hell is where I have lukewarm feet. So I need to join her in the hot pits, where everything's very sweaty.
I'm sure you would love to join our hot pits.
Shut up! I didn't even intend that as anything. Anyways, a big thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/dimecomicbros network.
They are our hot pits.
No. No. Caitlin and Jeff Lorenz keep this show on the air, on the road, rubber on the road.
You're making it worse.
Yeah, I am. They get early access to all of our episodes for this show, as well as our other show, when I edit on time, which is rare. I just said it's rare. As well as exclusive access to happy hour segments, where after each show, we open up a beer, usually have a drink, have a party, talk some crazy shit. Sometimes I talk about Bible Man, which I was going to do, but then I decided not to do because Colin was going to be here, and then Colin dipped. So I should be doing Bible Man, but I'm not, which makes me very mad. So you should come listen to me be mad about it, and then find some other random shit to talk about, where we just kind of... It's off the cuff. It's unchained. It's uncensored, except when I still edit parts out of it that don't make any fucking sense because we're very weird.
It's unscripted.
Yes. I mean, this show is unscripted, but...
Well,
yes, a bit.
We try to follow an outline. Suggested lane.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe, kind of. It's a dirt road.
It's a walking path in the woods.
Yeah.
A deer path.
Dude, I could go for some venison right now, except my tummy still hurts because it's very full of soup. You know who is also full of soup?
Our patrons? Maybe.
They might be full of soup. Jetpack Comics is full of soup.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't either. But being full of soup is a good thing. And Jetpack Comics is good.
I've been meaning to get there.
Slacker.
The last 2 days, because I pre-ordered magic cards. And I'm...
You Satanist.
Not even going to make it again tomorrow, so...
Sinner.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The woes of being an adult and working overtime.
True. Yeah. Don't buy your comics from Lex Luthor. Yeah. It's bad and cringe.
Yep. True.
Unless they're omnibuses that are half off, then we will allow this one sin. You just have to be Catholic and feel guilty and repent about it, okay? You have to, especially if it's a Daredevil book. Or if it's a Daredevil omnibus, then you don't have to feel guilty about it because Matt's already doing it for you.
I got Batman Eternal omnibus for $69.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's a dead joke. That is such an old... We need new funny numbers.
8008.
What's so funny about 808?
80085.
You mean boobs?
Yes.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm a little slow. I was blinded by the boobs I just couldn't think about what the fuck you were saying.
Next week, we're doing the comic news.
Yeah, holy cow. Yes, we are. We are going to be doing the comic news.
And then the week after that, we're without Colin again.
No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. He said it was like October 8th or something.
If it is so, and we have another thing without Colin, we
Yes.
will be discussing Marvel's Zombies Black, White, and Blood.
Yep.
Which will be fun.
Yes.
Because they're zombies.
Yep.
And it's in black and white.
Yep.
I'm thirsty. My mouth
Too
is...
bad you're sober.
I know.